empower women to flourish 360. We'll be diving into topics that matter to women the most. Flourish is more than just a series. It's a supportive community where women can share the experiences, learn from each other, and grow together. Don't miss out. Tune into Sunny 88.7 FM for Flourish. Let's flourish together. Sponsors: Duffy's Health and Beauty, Yumvita, Shea Butter Souvenirs, Black Peacock, Colgate, Nyonyo, Munchies Biscuits, Soko Bags, Polyglath, Black Secret, Deva Products, Ocean Spray, Festival, Trolley Market, and Zara Food. Your dial is on Sunny 88.7 FM. Is a great Friday morning, and I'm sure you must have heard about the Wanderlust team, the trip that they made, the historic road trip. I mean, I was so proud as a Ghanaian as I followed their journey from Accra to London, and there's a woman who stood out, and I'm like, she's so brave, she's so bold. And I think right after their trip, we tried to have a conversation with her, but she was too busy, but thankfully she's in our studio today. Nanefua Sewa Eduse. She was a standout team member, the only woman on the trip, and the engineer for the 13 automobiles as they traversed a number of African countries en route to Europe. Nanefua, hey, you're brave.
Hello. Yes, I've heard that a lot lately, but I mean, while I was on the trip, I would say the gentleman that I went with didn't make me feel like a woman. It was only until I got back to Ghana and I realized, I was a woman after all.
No, so how did you get on the team? Because I'm sure they had everything put together or something, or not exactly.
They do. It took them about 3. What I know is it took about 2 years to put this together. Wow. So it wasn't as if they just got up and wanted to do this trip. So this is how the story started. I chanced on a video or pictures that they had taken at the Freedom and Justice Park.
We're live on Facebook, so you can join in and then, be a part of the conversation also on Sunny TV. All right.
So right after their Facebook post, I was like, this is good. So I quickly sent a message to one of the team members, like, hey, can I offer you something? Coolants, clean your car for you before you go, check your car before you go. And it turns out that one of the team members said, you know what, Nana, I know you ride motorcycle with me. I know how you are, so I'm sure you'd want to be a part of it. So come, let's go. So it was initially me asking, can I sponsor support to, you know what, come and join us. But being me, I went in with my gadgets, with my diagnostic tool. I'm going to fix this, that. But believe me when I say it was a boot camp for Shecanic, because I learned a lot on that trip. I didn't even have to take my tools because these men were very well prepared. So that's how the story goes.
And what was the experience for you?
Ooh, mixed bag. I had my okohokoye day moment. It was a mixed bag.
No, talk about that specific moment that you're like, okohokoye day.
You know, when we got to Mali, it was Mali where we saw the Fulanis with their AK-47 and the motorcycles, you know, but it was strange. Well, what would they be doing with their guns? Not knowing. They can only fire or attack anybody after they've said the first prayer.
Oh.
Yes. Religion is so strong. So after they said the first prayer before they can attack. So luckily, the guys that I went with, they made sure they had all the right information. So we made sure we zoomed through the town quickly before 6 o'clock. Because once they finish saying their prayers, it is go time.
What was your greatest highlight? I know at a point you had to cut your trip short, but what was your greatest highlight?
It was when we got to Mauritania. I think Mauritania hasn't been spoken of well enough. It seemed to be a very interesting town. One side it seemed deserted, the other side too it has so much potential. For me, what stood out was their fish. Mauritania is the biggest fish. I kid you not. It has the biggest fish industry. You know, there's none like Kobe and Momoni in Mauritania because the fish is in abundance. Nobody stores. Nobody smokes it. So just the idea of no Kobe, no Momoni in the country. Imagine in Ghana if we had what's in abundance. Even cake crowd, we ferment it and store it. But that just tells you how rich they are in these resources. I mean, Africa, I would say. So I had this question on BBC, and you know, these people are very funny with the way they try to always project Africa, as we are poor. So
yeah, living on trees.
exactly. So the question she asked me was, "Oh, I bet you really enjoy the steak in Spain." And I said,
Oh,
"No, you should
can have
try the
Spain
fish in
steak, right?
Mauritania." You know,
That was
so
a smart one.
oh yeah. I saw where this was going
Okay.
because you know it's up to us to be smart and
Yeah.
respond accordingly.
Yeah.
Mauritania is way better, even though low key. I mean, I'll be honest. Every place has its downside, but if we are conscious and intentional about promoting the good side, ooh, Africa will be good.
I agree with you on that one. This morning, we are having a conversation with Shecanic. Want to know more about her journey as a female auto technician? You can join us. We're live on Facebook. You can also watch us on YouTube and Sunny TV. But Anifo, how did this all start from you? I mean, I know right from childhood, I said I wanted to be an air hostess, and I'm so far away from that right now. Was it like that for you, or you chanced on this whole auto technician thing along the
it
way?
was the search for money initially. So I'll tell you, I was on a path to working with UN. I was so much inspired by Kofi Annan.
Oh.
So it's still a part of me that would fight for the voiceless, would speak out for the marginalized. I still have that with me in me now. But I got a job, or I applied to be an office assistant at a car shop
Okay.
in my quest to make money to go to law school. That was it for me. So at the car shop, I realized, before joining the car shop, I'd run my own business. I used to sell banku and tilapia. I had people selling credit for me, so I knew how it is to have workers and they'll run it down. So when I got the opportunity to work with my boss as an office assistant, my job was just to send out invoices, call customers that your car was ready. But I noticed that when he had to travel, he felt the need to lock up the place.
Okay.
He couldn't trust anybody, and then his customers also come in and they want to see him. If they come to the shop and he's not there, they want to walk away.
Oh.
I needed to change that.
Okay.
Luckily, my name being Nana, is easy for people to assume it's a man, right?
Oh.
So what I'll do is, I'll ask the boys questions, the workers, I'll go to the field. Office assistants, you never see me sitting down in the office.
You should be
I'll
sitting.
go to the field and ask questions. Once upon a time, the most beautiful car that I always dreamed of having was a 2010 Corolla. I still remember this Toyota Corolla. Just I was so naive. Green, fresh.
You
from
had the
boat.
color green.
Yes,
Okay.
green. So that was it. As an office girl, I decided to ask questions, get hands-on training, a lot more of hands-on,
Okay.
because I was lucky to have a boss who allowed me to explore, allowed me to ask questions, and he gave me all the right directions. So I was very fortunate to have such a boss.
Okay.
The light bulb moment for me one day was when a customer drove in from Tema, all the way from Tema. My boss wasn't in. And he says, "Oh, where's your boss?" I say, "Oh, how can I help you?" What do you know?
Yeah, what do you
What
know?
you know? I was like, "Please give me a chance." So he showed me what it was. So when you buy a new vehicle, they deflate the tire so it keeps the car from rolling.
Okay.
Now he had this deflated tire. He didn't know what it was. The warning signs were on his instrument cluster. Listeners, it's not dashboard, instrument cluster.
Oh.
So that
Please
that
say
was-
that again. Say that again. It's not dashboard.
it is not the dashboard. That side of the vehicle is called the instrument cluster. And
Instrument
when
cluster.
you come to the auto
Oh,
spa, I'm
that's
gonna
some more.
teach you more. I will teach you more. So he didn't know what it was. I said, "Please, sir, if you look at your PSI on the door jamb, you're supposed to inflate to 36." Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was my light
impressive.
bulb moment. Like,
Yeah.
Nana, if you can do this.
Yeah.
Because people don't read, number one. So they will depend on you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're able to learn your craft well, one, and be passionate about it, the way you go about it, you'd soon become a household name. This was
Yeah.
about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Fast forward, it has manifested.
And how do you feel about the manifestation right before your eyes?
It feels, it feels very unreal. Let me be honest. when I got back from the trip, I would
But,
before
but
then.
yes,
Where?
in fact, about the trip. Your parents knew you were going on the trip?
No,
Okay.
no, you don't tell people such things.
You
No,
just go.
you just
How did
go
they find out?
on TV.
You are no good. So did
just
they
go.
kind of call and say, "Hey, nane for a day"? No, what was it like when they found after they found out?
No, I'm enough for say. I'm a who. You don't tell people such things because unfortunately people would project their fears.
That's true.
People always
That's
project their
true.
fears. So when you see something, you just do it.
Okay.
I mean, if you remember, it was right before some rich folks went down to go and see the
That
Titanic
one, yes,
on
yes.
the
And they all died.
submarine.
Yeah, that submarine story.
So that was making headlines all over the place. So why would I even want to talk about what I'm going to do? Like, hey, it's a sika for crampo. Now, sika for crampo. No,
Yeah.
so no, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to. I didn't want to tell anybody.
And I mean, 10 years ago you had a dream. You're seeing it now. Now I can let you answer the question I asked before I interrupted you. How does it feel?
It feels good, but more importantly, it feels fulfilling to hear and see other women, other young women coming out to say, Shecanic, I'm a sprayer because of you.
Wow.
I'm an electrician. I'm proud because of you. That is what this Shecanic is all about. I didn't like the way people spoke to my colleagues at work. Very low regard for the people that treat your car, supposed to work on your car. Very low regard. I felt that had to change. And also even the technicians themselves do not see themselves as valuable, because in Ghana, utie wa say konoko sua de pam. In my time, it was called Kosiesi Funu. Now it's called makeup artistry. But back then, now it's called makeup artistry. So a lot of things have changed in the TVET space, and someone had to project that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing standing behind the pulpit and preaching the gospel, and another thing actually practicing it. People will see you preach it, but what you do behind the scene matters. That is why they said, even though I have my degree in what I do, I also decided to branch off and be a technician, go through the ropes, learn the hard way, be hands-on, mingle with them. It's important they see me as one of them. So then when I'm talking on their behalf or campaigning on their behalf, they'll be able to, relate. So that's how it's been.
This is Sunny 88.7 FM. I have a message here from Mame. She says, your comment about the abundance in Africa just won my heart. We are officially king. That's when you were talking about the fish in Mauritania.
Yes.
You're in a, I would say it's quite male-dominated field. When you're talking about how sometimes people may see people in the auto industry, I guess a few times when they've seen a mechanic or something, they don't look... The look alone, I think sometimes a contributing factor, because I don't see who will see you now and not take you seriously. So I guess there's some work in that regard. But let's go into, I mean, you've been in a male-dominated field. What has been the experience like? I would like you to share, I mean, the positive ones working with the men and some who have sort of...
Positive
Yeah.
ones. So start with the positive
Yeah, let's start
ones.
with those ones.
So because I'm a woman, it's easy to get the men to bring in their cars. Once you understand the role you play as a woman, it's easy to get on the soft side of
The soft spot of
and then it's strange. I first assume most of my clients would be women, but I have 80% of my customers being men. So I'm able to get them on my side a lot. Also because I am strong on beyond the looks, beyond the customer service. There has to be... You have to know your crafts.
Yeah, that's true.
So people will initially walk into the shop, say, oh, I've heard that there's a girl who can do this. Now, how do I keep this gentleman coming? You have to know your craft.
Yeah.
So it goes beyond just the look and the fact that I can
well.
talk and convince them. But you have to know your crafts. Those have been the positive side. I had the advantage and benefits of working with very influential people in Ghana, not because of the money, but even when you drive a Toyota Vitz and you value that car, that is your Rolls Royce.
Okay.
You would spend what it needs to get it right. I drive a 2009 Honda.
Okay.
Now, this car is it's a teenager already. My car is a teenager, but it is how I've kept it. Cars are not supposed to be disposable. Unfortunately, now we have too much cash and we dispose of our cars. But cars shouldn't be so disposable. So we're able to keep these customers because they value their vehicles. Right, so that's the kind of clientele that I have.
Okay,
that's the positive side. Now the negative side, oh boy, even today I went through that.
Oh,
the negative side.
Tell me about it.
I mean, likely it's Nana in Ghana. Nana could be a man or so. I'll give you one example I always share. So a driver. Most times these drivers now act like they are the owner. So a very affluent person in society's driver. He drives around and you would think he is the one. So he came to the shop and says, "Oh, yes, me Nana." And I smiled and I said, "Okay, so how may I help you?"
Yeah. Oh boy.
Ooh,
okay.
And then I noticed. So what I said was, go sit in the reception.
Okay.
Nana, I'll get Nana for you. So he sat there for 30 minutes, and then the clients called and said, Nana, driver na badada na kohuno. And I just said, please give me a minute. So I go back to the reception and say, "You've been asked to bring the car to Nana, not to interview Nana. Why don't you want to just leave the car? Oh, now you're Nana can't. Oh, Nana can't show me." That is one. Another thing, I got to know so early in my career that for religious reasons, some men do not talk to women.
Okay.
So someone will walk to the shop, and the mere fact that you're a woman, it is haram. I think that's a word they have for it. So he will not talk to you.
Okay.
Some also would get angry and would be physically abusive. Those ones, I increase their prices. Please, if you're listening to me, if you come to my shop and you are abusive to me or any of my workers, it would be nice to you, but you pay some.
You pay for all the trouble. What's a day in your life like?
Oh,
at your shop, yeah.
Now it has changed. Now it's having meetings to training, chasing clients.
Okay.
But the most important thing for us that we do on the daily is to meet and go through our day.
Okay.
And go through the things that we did wrong, how we can do better.
Okay.
That's always the number one for me and my team, what we can do better.
Okay.
Some of the things we spotted and how we can fix the problem, because we see problems every day.
Yeah.
What can we do to get better? So that my day is interesting.
So talking about a team, it means you run your own business, if I'm getting that right. Okay.
Yes.
So you a team of about how many?
We are 13.
13. And so I think earlier you mentioned the mobile kind of stuff. Can you tell us more about that?
So we run a mobile service. Oh, the rent in Ghana is a killer. So we run a mobile service for now, primarily because we have to keep our clientele. We don't want to be fixed with location. We'll be able to move around. So wherever you are, you either get a tow truck to pick up your car or we pick it up for you at a fee. So the mobile service makes us a lot more flexible.
Okay.
And also with the mobile service, our overheads obviously very
much
low
lower.
cost. So our rates are very competitive, and also our reputation is at stake. So we are hard on making sure customer satisfaction is key. There's something I tell customers: your car is my advertising board. So if I do it well, the car will speak for
you,
for me. So, and it has been working. A lot of our jobs come in based on referrals. We don't do adverts at all. It's based on referrals. We want to be able to grow organically.
Okay.
And not, it's very easy to rush and get there, and just one little mistake, and then all your reputation, your hard work just goes down the drain. There you go. So yeah.
Manyayo Bote has joined us, says, congratulations, dear. How did you feel when we called you about the Auto Spa Day to empower women, know more about their cars, learn a few things here and there? How did you feel when that call came through to you?
Oh, to be honest with you, Jennifer, I thought that was fantastic. That was fantastic. I mean, whoever came up with the idea, the concept, clearly was thinking outside the box. Because most times, whenever I go to places, I feel like I'm a stepchild. Most times, people do not look at that industry. You know, everything is something else apart from the auto. You mentioned that because of the way we look and all of the negative misconception. But yeah, I think it was fantastic, and I look forward to that. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
That's awesome. What should the women expect? Even the men coming through, because the men are invited as well. Everybody's invited because there's a lot to learn. What should people attending the Auto Spa Day expect from you? What are some of the basic things you're going to teach us that's going to help
basics.
us
Can
save our
I start?
lives?
Can I start with the listener who says
yes, Amma Gladys. That's Amma. Let me read her
Amma,
message.
okay.
So Amma says the steering wheel is very tight. I have to put a lot of effort before it will turn to the left or right. Her battery is on. Her temperature keeps going up when she's moving.
Amma, it feels like your drive belt. So the drive belts, what people call fan belts, is not fan belt. Your drive belt or your serpentine belt.
And your fan belt, cause
and your fan belt. So it's a drive belt or the serpentine belts. They call it serpentine, a snake, because if you look at it, it looks like a snake going round. Now, the serpentine belt controls a lot of the peripherals of the engine, i.e. the steering wheel pump, i.e. the alternator.
Okay, I've heard about that one.
The alternator has got to do that charging station. So my first suspicion would be, you have to check. What's her name, Esther?
So Amma,
you have to check your drive belts. If you go to Abosoka and go and say serpentine belts, they will not find it for you. So Amma, just for today, just say fan belts. But tomorrow, say the right thing. Okay, so check your serpentine belts, check your fan belts. Okay. No, check your drive belts.
And let's go to the Auto Spa Day. We're going to be running participants through.
Excited about it. When is that? 30th?
So that's 31st of May. Yes, last Saturday of this month.
I can't wait for it. So
we're so excited about having you on board.
Absolutely.
But let me say, I don't know how to change a car tire, so I need your help in that regard on the day.
Oh yeah, in safe hands.
Thank you so much.
We will learn. It's easy. You can do that in 10 minutes.
In 10
minutes, or even
my
less.
life shall be transformed after 31st. So walk us through what we should expect.
Beyond just changing the tires, imagine you go and borrow a car and you want to flex someone, and you get to the filling station, you don't even know what side of the car the fuel tank is. Hey, Charlie, it happens. I
was driving my husband's car one time. I go, I'm like, oh, where is it? Left, right,
left, right. But it shows on your instrument cluster. So usually you see an arrow next to the petrol icon. If you look at your instrument cluster, that tells you the side with which your fuel flap is. Okay. So you don't need to get down and check your mirrors And then if you want to be the odogu of the car for the day,
I want to be the odogu of my car.
You will keep being the odogu. You know, they say that a car is not yours until you know what the side to which the fuel is. That is one. What else can I show you quickly? Oh, there's so much. There's so much to learn. There's so much. Come to the Auto Spa. Don't miss it. Whatever happens, don't miss it. Please be at the Auto Spa and be on time.
Be on time. So we're going to be sharing more details about the Auto Spa Day. I mean, she's going to take us through certain routines. And for anyone listening right now, and then as we wrap up, what is that one thing you can show them today about their cars? One thing that is essential, wish you could tell the whole world about. You've seen people mess it up over and over again.
I would talk about not using water. Pouring water into your tank. And Jennifer, something tells me you're number one.
Yes, I was.
Oh, thank God you're safe.
I got a coolant.
Good.
Yes, I got a coolant.
Good. So you know when you have this pot in the kitchen, you always use it to boil egg. If you look at the pots, it has a line. That is exactly what happens when you use water. You have that line in your engine. Now, water has a boiling point of 100%. with time, the heat, it will cause your engine to swell because it can't contain the heat, and then you destroy your
The
gasket.
gasket.
But with the coolants, there are additives. It doesn't boil 100%, and it's good for our heat in Ghana. So you have to use coolants. I know someone say, "Oh, top pure water, 20 2 cities versus Okoto coolants, 100
I think it's about
cities."
80, 100. Last time my mechanic
There
got it
you
was,
go. But in the long run, it saves you a lot of pesos, a lot of cities, because you don't have to go change your gaskets. You don't have to have issues with overheating and all whatnot. So the coolant is like you feeding your baby with, that's a fun. It's just funny thinking about it. You're supposed to feed your baby with milk.
Yeah.
And you're busy giving the baby energy drink.
Messy.
Why?
I mean, that makes me feel very bad for how I've treated my car over the past few years.
So please treat your car like you treat yourself, like you.
So
treat your
generally, how
baby.
long will the coolant stay in the car?
Oh, it stays
Like a month, 2, 3, 4?
more than that. It stays for a very long time. I mean, with time, because of what you call that, evaporation and all that. But then you just have to top up a little. But it's there for as long as you need it to be there. It's not a consumable like the oils that you have to change your oil, but the coolant remains. The windscreen washer fluid, it remains. So please do not pour in water.
So people, I've seen a vision of someone who has parked their car. It was just about to buy water. Please, you've heard today. This is the woman who's going to be with us at Auto Spa Day. I mean, she has answers to all the questions. She has the experience. Someone just sent me a message. Say, hey, for the first time I've heard instrument cluster. And I've seen where my fuel tank is right there. I wish I was in my car as you were speaking, because I'm like, okay, I want to see where that fuel tank is on the instrument cluster. Right now if I go to my mechanic, I say instrument cluster, I'm not sure.
Oh, well.
But it just means that we need to take our cars to the right places. So I'm glad we are getting to hear about you and what you do, the services you offer. I like that is mobile. It means we can give you a call. You can help us. So come over to Auto Spa Day. We'll be sharing more details as the days go by. So I think we can wrap it at 9:04. But she'll be back again on the iMDRIVE just before the Auto Spa Day. That day she'll just be sharing a few tips here and there before the 31st of May. Oh, I have a message here. This one says, my Toyota Vitz keeps overheating, but mechanics say no leakage is seen. So I stopped buying coolant because it's also expensive using it. Yeah, what do you have to say about
probably
that?
leaking into the combustion chamber.
Okay.
So it sounds like your gasket is gone. If
The gentleman here and all of you are looking like, how does she know everything?
if it goes okay, so imagine you're in the shower, and instead of the water just running down your face, is getting into your nose. It will not leak out through as sweat. It won't come through as urine, but it's leaking into something that is not supposed to leak into. Does that make sense?
I'm following.
Right.
on Saturday, I'll follow more.
So I mean,
Yeah.
one, just
But I
because you
get what
don't
you're
see
saying,
it
definitely.
dropping on the ground
The
doesn't
ground.
mean it's not leaking into your combustion
That's what
chamber.
we're looking for, that there's some dripping onto the ground. That's what we think there's a leakage.
So my dear listener, check if you start the car and see white smoke. If you're seeing white smoke, it means your coolant is getting into your combustion chamber.
Okay.
That's what the white smoke means. So
Wow.
just look out for the smoke. Like when you eat something bad, you can tell from the gas that
Tummy
comes out of your
reaction,
body.
Yeah. This message says, woman power all the way. Dr. Thelma is listening in. Dr. Thelma, hope we're going to see you at Auto Spa Day. Finally, what's the difference between the technician and the auto technician and the mechanic? What's the difference?
There's a huge difference. If you listen to how I explain certain things, how I've been able to make it interesting, funny for you to understand, it's different from how a professor would explain these same concepts.
Okay.
So the engineer